not talking about Spryker here, because the briefing I got from Ben was to give you like an entertaining, educational presentation, which is not like product related. For the ones that want to speak about Spryker with me, there's one chart later. It's an e-commerce solution. So when companies like Den are starting to sell online, not only in store, they need to shift away from, today it looks like a Typo 3 kind of content management system, into more like a commerce suite. We are one of the biggest competitors of Salesforce Commerce and SAP Commerce. But that's not the topic today. The topic today is another one. And I think in the agenda it was advertised as why Chinese companies are winning right now. And it's very interesting, a very interesting topic, because I'm in this industry now for almost 20 years. I started roughly 20 years ago with the Otto Group, a mail order company. And over the last 10 years, it was kind of boring because everything was so Amazon dominated. So it's Amazon, Amazon, Amazon. And even in the speech from JJ, you've heard that Amazon was leading in AI, which I believe is a lie, because when this is an AI-driven platform, then AI obviously failed when it comes to product data and product recommendations. So, but this is not the case, and we are seeing now a totally new and fundamental rethinking of e-commerce, and I will try to explain it in my world and in my words, and hope that some of these things resonate with you and we can discuss it via lunch. So let's put things in perspective first. So this is a chart we've used like for many, many times in the last couple of years, I think since 2020. And that's how we explain like the evolution of e-commerce. We say, you know, in the beginning it was like kind of a very simple websites where product data was stored, and you could click on the buy button, and then it moved very fast into booking of travel tickets for planes and trains, and then into fashion and furniture, and then banking. So everything was kind of moving online, and everything became kind of transactional. And maybe the last evolution of e-commerce was, if you remember it correctly, this is IoT commerce. So it started like 2-3 years ago when people said, okay, you know, when there's like an elevator having like a problem, this elevator can like book a service appointment himself, or might be even ordering the replacement products. The very interesting and very important learning here is not what comes next, but to understand how long this period already is going on. And I'd like to put it in perspective because I've brought my son here. It's his first business trip. So he learns that business trip to hotels are not connected with pools and beaches, but with conference rooms. So, and the interesting thing here, putting this perspective, I'd like to put it on a time scale. And this time scale is fairly easy. So I put here end of Second World War. My birth year is 1980, and this is like more or less the beginning of like the digital ecosystem, like in the early 90s. And the interesting thing on this time scale is like when I learned about like the Second World War in my, let's say, when I was like 2 or 3 years old, and I looked around, I could not relate to what was happening in the Second World War. It was very far away. I have not seen any tanks around, any fighting, any guns, whatever. So it's really something only grandpa and grandma lived through. Even my parents were not part of the Second World War. And it's actually the same now. When we are starting to tell our kids now about like what happened in the beginning of e-commerce, and many speeches start, and many keynote speeches start with this kind of stories about how it worked out like 20, 30 years ago. It's kind of a story we would tell about the World War. It's kind of it's too old. So we have to start like rethinking our whole view on the e-commerce world, because everything that happened here, maybe even until here, is not relevant anymore. I know some of you started with the SAP integration here and still are on it. So yes, so some older systems are here, but that's not the point, because when we are still living in this world and try to figure out all the problems of this world, it will be very, very, very hard to adapt and to accept what's happening next. And in my keynotes, when Amazon was still the dominating theme, I had this picture here, and I saw, you know, we had like two people. Imagine like two people meeting for a race, and this is like Michael Otto, the founder of the Otto Group, biggest mail order company in the world, and this guy you obviously know. And the way they were thinking about e-commerce were more or less the same. Both thought, like in the beginning of the early 2000s, that e-commerce will be the dominant way of doing business with the customers in the future. So they were both right. But Jeff Bezos adapted like another speed when it comes to customer focus, website adaptation. And if you compare those two races, I just put this formula up there. I said, okay, Michael Otto said, okay, we need to move into like the e-commerce direction, but like let's do like every day 1 step, 1 meter, right? Every day 1 step. And after like 10 days, it's obviously 10 meters in the direction of e-commerce. Where Jeff Bezos said, okay, we need to move faster, so we try to double our step lengths each day. So first day 1 meter, second day 2 meters, like, and then 4 meters, and you know, like day 5, it's like 1 step length is already like the distance to the door. And our brain is not able to process exponential growth. So when I take now a random person here and say, okay, how long is a step length after 10 days? Usually people say, okay, it's like 30 meters. Yeah, step 5 is like 5 meters, or 10 meters, and 30 meters. On the 10th day, the step length is already like 1 kilometer. So he's far out. And you know, on day 5, Michael Otto might have asked business development people like me, Mr. Graf, what should we do? So they are kind of running ahead. So how should we react? And like a couple of days later, I would come and, you know, he's like running much faster. But then he's like already out of sight. So, and this is actually the situation we are back in again. And then we try to translate it into, okay, what does it mean for e-commerce? And then I think this chart is like super old. It's like could be like from 2008, almost like 15 years old. And we explained it in the beginning and said, you know, the problems of the old retail world, of the brick and mortar world, of the Denners, for example, is they need to become like a retailing brand. They need to be the brand people are thinking about when they want to solve a product problem. Obviously, buying alcohol, in your case, or tobacco. And within the assortment of this retailer, they need to select the product or the brand that solves their problem, and then they buy. You know, and e-commerce is kind of different. E-commerce, it's people are like searching online, what is the best alcohol, what is the best whatever, tobacco, what is the best dairy product, and then they go to the retailer of their choice by searching on Google or Amazon or price comparison engines. And then they're just buying. And these are like two different types of retailers. It took us like almost 10 years in order to explain that those two retailers don't have anything in common. That was a belief, and this is like the misbelief of the retail, of the former retail generation that believed, okay, just because we can do mail order e-commerce, we're able to compete with Amazon. That's not true. Those two companies do have nothing in common. They might sell products, but they have nothing in common. And this kind of culminated in this picture here then, where we said, okay, when Amazon in the Western world or in the markets where Amazon is active, and they're not active everywhere, they're only active in some markets, this process even was replaced with like the Amazon buying process. Whenever a person wanted to buy something, so in 60% of the cases, they went to Amazon, and whatever came up there, they bought. And maybe they just selected it by product rating, stars, whatever. Even brands became like more or less less important there, because people stopped searching for brands, but they searched for like generic information. They stopped searching for WMF frying pan, but searching for frying pan for induction stoves, or frying pan for young family, or for fish, whatever. So, and this was like for many years when you heard me speaking at other keynotes conferences. Okay, it's like kind of this migration path is so unfair. So those companies are doomed anyway. Those companies that are like not following the marketplace model, the platform model, so are doomed also, because this company here does not need to earn money anymore from selling products. It's earning money from selling advertising space. It's selling money from like earning like a service margin. So, and whenever you're competing with a company that does not need to add like a markup on the product price, then you're kind of doomed. But this changed a lot in the last year, I would say, because we saw a couple of companies, especially from China, that is kind of forcing even me to rethink the whole model, how platform economy is working. For the ones actually that want to have the chart, just reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I send you the chart. So Ben is not allowed to send out charts, in case you are asking him. So you might have heard about those companies. They are also active here in the Netherlands. It's mainly Shein and Temu. So, so who of you have already ordered at Shein or Temu? Okay, that's maybe 10%. Just to give you like an example, what do you think? Temu is a marketplace that started in Germany in February this year. It's like selling essentially everything Amazon is selling and even more. What do you think? How many parcels every day are shipped into Germany from Temu? Best guess. I asked Ben first because he's not concentrated doing photos. Ben, how many parcels is Temu shipping into the German market every day? And they started in February.
5 million.
5 million every day? That would be really impressive. That would be really impressive. Really impressive. Other best guesses? No, they are already at 200,000 parcels every day. A brand like only a very, very tiny share and fraction of the market has heard about is already overtaking many, many bigger retailers. So Temu, Germany alone will do $1 billion in revenue this year. Shein will most likely do 2 billion already. How can they do this? How can like a company from China or a platform from China come into a market which was actually doomed, because this was proven by Kassenzone, the podcast and the blog, so it's kind of it was done already. We had identified the winners, but now even Amazon is worried a lot. And you see that they are even getting to a level where they are becoming bigger than Walmart, or almost to the level of Walmart, and heading into Amazon, and heading into Amazon's numbers soon. So on a very famous other US blog, there was a very interesting take, an interesting explanation. They said, 20 years ago, that was a time of made in China. So made in China was kind of a common term. You had companies in between, importing companies, Q&A companies, and retailers that are selling the products made in China, like Denner, for example. In the you also have non-food stuff? No non-food, only food? Okay, then if you go to micro store, you will find this non-food section, screwdrivers, whatever, gardening chairs. So this usually come stuff in China. Everything you can move here in this room is from China. No joke. Everything you can move is from China. Nothing is produced here in Europe. And then we, over the last 10 years, we have been into a phase where this could be named sold by China, because the importers were not necessary anymore, because people from China or from Asia could handle the Amazon platform or the eBay platform. They could set up their shop, upload product data, and then whenever a customer was buying a product, ship it from China or ship it through distribution companies in Europe. And now we are moving into like the next phase, which is very different from the Amazon phase, which is like marketed by China. So the marketing platform is controlled by Chinese companies. The marketing platform for Temu and Shein, main marketing platform, is TikTok. TikTok obviously overtook YouTube. Also another myth from JJ, which is not true anymore. So TikTok consumption, especially in younger ages, is way higher than YouTube. Much better algorithm, much better videos, much faster. This is controlled by Chinese companies. They are getting the customer from TikTok into Temu, and I will show you later how it's used and why people are sticking in the app. They are then in the Shein app and in the Temu app, and everything that is left over for European or Western companies, actually the delivery driver taking the parcel from the Brussels airport to the end customer. That's the only part of the value creation left. All the rest is in China already, and it's astonishing if you look into the details what's happening there, because obviously if you're happening to open the website, you see stuff like this. This is like a pair of shoes, which is like $8. That's the standard price. Same shoes are listed on Amazon for like $23. Same shoes you would go to if you go to a budget shoe retailer here, not Foot Locker, but like budget shoe retailers, you get that for $35. $35 would have been a fair and cheap price before you knew the offering from Amazon and Temu. And now when people are shopping there more and more, and it's exactly the same shoe. It's not worse. It's exactly the same shoe for this price, including shipment cost. then people start thinking, okay, only rich people can afford buying at the Deichmanns and Amazons anymore, because you can get now 3 pairs of shoes for the same price. How can they do it? They have a lot of innovative stuff in the platform. This shoe might be not even produced, because Temu and Shein are offering like a very dense integration in their ERP systems for the manufacturers. Manufacturers are putting stuff online that is not even yet produced, just to test if this kind of color, if this kind of shape resonates. And then if there's enough customers clicking on the product, want to buy, within like 3 days they can produce, because they need to run the factories on a very high usage rate. 80 to 90% is needed in China to make money out of a factory. So they have a very strong incentive to test out stuff, to run out stuff. So you see colors at Shein, and you see like 50 different colors for a certain dress at Shein. Obviously, all those colors are not produced and put into stock. When this stuff is produced, depending on the demand in the market, there's no distribution center involved anymore. It's shipped like to the main fulfillment center of Temu. They're getting the logistic label from European or US logistics provider in China already on the box. It's then shipped into the US or into Europe, usually over Brussels or Slovakia. And then local carriers, regional carriers are getting it to the customer. All the in-between distribution centers are not needed anymore. All the in-between costs are not needed anymore. Pick and pack in China costs roughly between 50 to 20 cents. One pick and pack in Europe costs $1 to $3. If you save all the stuff in between, so $10 is a fair price. Obviously, it's subsidized still, because also Temu has to pay like for the logistics, but $35 for a pair of shoes is not a fair price anymore. Sorry for you to say it here. It's not a price. People won't afford it anymore. They won't buy it in this way anymore. And obviously, when I'm discussing this stuff in media, and so you always get like the feedback, yeah, but it's like, it's not sustainable. Obviously, it's not sustainable. Consumption is not sustainable at all. We should not buy anything. But obviously, if we have a choice to buy like for the same price 3 pairs of shoes, we're going to do it. What do you want to tell my son? So should I force him to get his like pocket money out and say, okay, you have to buy this kind of device you want to get for your gaming PC for $30 when you can get it on Temu for $5? No, of course you can get it for $5. That's how our consumption world is working. And it's really impressive what kind of numbers those platforms are already able to pull off. Temu, a platform that started like in the US in November last year, in Germany February this year, already like has 6 billion hashtags on Temu on TikTok. Zalando, active on TikTok for 10 years almost, has 1 billion. Like Ajax Amsterdam, just because we are here in Amsterdam today, has like, and maybe it's also like another Ajax brand, I don't know, but I guess it's Ajax Amsterdam. It's 8 billion. Shein, active a bit longer, but not so much longer, a bit longer, has 76 billion. So Temu, as a young platform, let's compare it to Zalando. So Temu is creating the brand awareness, like a Zalando is creating in 10 years, within 2 months. Every 2 months, creating the same brand awareness Zalando took like 10 years to create. That's kind of the new scale we have to think about, and that led me actually to a certain quote I gave at the K5 conference. Maybe some of you have been there, where I expected that would backfire a lot, where I would say, okay, Zalando is a new Karstadt, but without escalators. What does it mean? So for the ones that don't know Karstadt is like a dying department store or dead department store. It's already smelling a bit. So, and we always, in our industry, always looked up to Zalando and About You and say, oh, how cool is this? It's like the new online world. It's the old world already. That's really the new Karstadt. We need to reconfigure our thinking about it. And we also need to reconfigure our thinking about speed of adaptation, because now it's like this. You know, the old like 210 high, I don't know how you spell it, pronounce in English. Like, this is Jeff Bezos, still fast and successful. But you have like people like Colin Huang, who is like the founder of Pinduoduo, that's the mother company of Temu in China, who also overtook all Chinese companies within the last 5 years. JD.com, Alibaba, Taobao, all overtaken by one guy. It's like it's a new speed, and now they are arriving in our markets. And If we look a bit more into the details, and in preparation for this speech, I took out my book from Business Administration Studies and tried to understand, okay, what is actually the value chain of in the retail industry. I found this picture here. It's really from this book, and it's obviously it's a German book because I studied in Germany. It's kind of the production industry, distributors, production again, distribution, retailers in between, customers. And like in the university, you try to understand like the money flow and the merchandise flow and the information flow. Stupid business administration charts, right? But today in this world, what does it mean for this chart? It means actually all the stuff in between is kind of dying and disrupted. And that's crazy. And it's crazy because it's happening within a year. It's not happening within like 10 years. So my old company, Otto or Karstadt, they had like 15 years to adapt to the Amazon world. You have maybe a year or two to adapt to the Temu and Shein world. And many of my Otto colleagues were much older than you, though they really didn't care. They are like, they have their vacation home already. So, but you have to adapt. You have to adapt. And it's really crazy, and this is why it's so interesting and so cool that Ben invited me, because like for the last couple of years, kind of there was this kind of dead end in Amazon, and now we have like a new kid on the block that even Amazon excluded in their price search. Like usually Amazon is trying to match prices, but even with Temu, and they said no, it's not fair. They are using the same arguments Peek and Kloppenburg and Zalando, Peek and Kloppenburg and Otto used before. No, it's not fair with Zalando. They are getting venture capital money. So when they run out of money, they won't be a competition to us anymore. And it's not true. And let me show you a video how Temu is used with I think that's not Temu, that's Shein. You're going to see how it's used with elderly customers in China. It's a video I got from a WhatsApp group where I'm in for the Chinese market. It's a private one where a grandma is shown, or like an elderly person is shown, how she is using Temu. So let's watch it for a minute.
那就这个，我买了这个，太多了，说不要，太多了，太多。哦，抢过来1块钱，成功，抢了刚刚赚了1块钱。
女朋友送我的东西，哎，黄金液水瓶啊，还真是用来装液水的，瓶盖竟然还能打开。他告诉我是金子做的，存心气我的吧？我们昨晚才吵过架，非说我不关心他。在他生病的时候，我只会说多喝液水，服了那不然还能说啥？所以今天就送这个瓶子，含沙射影我呗。冷却看一下，哎呀，还真是黄金的，赶紧称下。
这么便宜，
不行了，完蛋，这下更解释不清了。 女朋友送我的东西，哎，黄金液水瓶啊，还真是用来装液水的，瓶盖竟然还能打开。他告诉我是金子做的，存心气我的吧？我们昨晚才吵过架，没。
Let me stop it here. So they're using it like a social app. That was a big dream of the Instagram and the WhatsApp, that people like would buy in this kind of app. And obviously this app can do it because they have like relevant content. It's kind of the big dream we all had in e-commerce, is discovery shopping, like we see on the shopping streets. We can put into like an online experience. But what have we done? We have kind of added new filters around the search bar. We had the search bar, you can put alcohol in there, and then another filter, another filter, another filter, another filter. It's not working. That's how it's working. So people are spending hours every day in this kind of app. So they once Temu won them from TikTok over, people are spending hours every day, and then you might ask yourself, okay, but how can they create this kind of content? Because you're like, it's a very content heavy conference here, and some of you might only have numbers for their products, not even pictures, not even product data, and then obviously the next kind of AI level comes in, and this is this year. That's how they create content also for Temu with this kind of application. Let us watch like for 20 seconds or so. You get an understanding. Sound is missing.
7天。
如何用 ChatGPT 做一个像我一样的24小时不休息的虚拟主播？其实只需要2步。第一步要用 ChatGPT， 第2步要用到闪减 APP。下面我来演示一下。首先，我们让 ChatGPT 根据我们提供的防晒霜这个产品生成一个直播的话术，把指令发给它，很快 GPT 就开始模拟主播的语气，生成直播话术。生成好了之后，第2步打开闪减 APP， 进入主页后，这里有很多2D 数字人可以进行挑选，还有成百上千个背景。这个帅哥比较顺眼，就他了。这个时候，我们把 GPT 生成的文案粘贴在这里，直接导入进去。这里还可以选择多个音色，男生女生各种风格都有，我们就选这个。横屏竖屏可以随意切换，一切准备就绪，就点击合成，等待2分钟，成片就生成好了。看看这效果是不是非常可以
？Crazy. And that's what's happening already in China. So actually the stuff you're seeing in Europe and the US is really old. They're really overtaking us. And they're much, much faster and much more innovative. So they don't think about like how can I create a photo with Midjourney from this kind of product. That's old school. It's really old school. Nobody's thinking about this anymore because there's so much more advanced technology and stuff you can do. Obviously you need like good basic product data to create good stuff. So with shit data, obviously shit AI avatars comes out of it. But that's not even like the level we are going for in the next 6 months. Next six months, we have tailored avatars per customer. So grandma will find pictures of her kids, her son, whatever, presenting a product. And I'm playing around with this kind of tools now for a couple of weeks, and they are out. And Ben might have seen them on LinkedIn. But I show you a picture where I just used an AI to create me. It's not me as an avatar, it's just my video, but create like in my voice, with my lip sync, like a Chinese version, presenting how we are celebrating Oktoberfest in the office. It took me actually a minute to create it.
许多来自亚洲的朋友，特别是来自中国的朋友，自然会问我们在柏林如何庆祝10月啤酒节。非常抱歉。我们没有提供打帐篷，也没有在街上行驶的马车。我们的场地只有一个办公室里的冰箱。我们在慕尼黑啤酒节期间当然也会提供啤酒，尤其是无酒精啤酒。我们的员工也可以享用这个饮品。而且我们还会
So in case you don't believe me and you believe I speak really English, I brought a video from my son. He didn't know about this, where we did the same.
你好 Justus， 我已经期待着在马略卡岛度过暑假了。我回去海滩，看到火烈鸟，然后去酒店，哪里也能看到火烈鸟。然后
It's crazy. It's so crazy. I'm sending it already out to like customers in Hindi, in Turkish, in Arabic, and it works. It's really, really good. It's mind blowing. It's even bigger than ChatGPT when we discovered it in February, and it changes everything. It really changes everything. And it's so fast, it's already like consumer available. And if you could invest now like in a stock that is trading like Enkeltrick Aktien, or what is in English, I don't know, grandchild tricks, you know, when people are prank calling you, pretending they are your kids, and so it's the perfect world for them now. You cannot even trust anything, not a video, not a voice message, not text message, so we will definitely see a big increase in security features like double, triple opt-ins when you're getting numbers from your parents, or then when they call you really know it's from their phone. It's crazy what's happening. This is a tool actually, it's called HeyGen Labs. You can just upload your video and you get the translated version with lip sync within a minute back. But going back to Shein and Temu, obviously, they are very successful in the US. Shein and Temu alone are responsible for 1/3 of the global deliveries into the US market. Almost 700 million of shipment entered the US under the de minimis rule. De minimis rule in the US is a bit more China-friendly than in Europe. Below $800, they don't apply customs and they don't apply VAT. Though they have like a 25% price advantage already. And you can see what this means for other companies. So Gap, for example, paid 700 million in import duties, H&M 200 million import duties, and Shein and Temu nothing. That's why you get those shoes so cheap. That's why there are so many people in Congress in the US are not happy about what's happening. But that's actually the world we need to adapt, though. And there's no way we can wait for like European regulators to stop this. It's actually your job to adapt faster. And then obviously the big question is, how do you adapt faster? Because what I've shown you, if you have seen it like for the first time, I hope not. I hope you follow my LinkedIn profile or the podcast. But if you've seen it for the first time, like first impression is like this. Like, what can I do now? Can I go to a different industry? No, you cannot. There's like two choices, and all choices are tough. It's two choices. So you need to change and adapt, obviously. Then just do it. And you're scared. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. Anyway, do it. Otherwise, you're ending like Karstadt. And it's true. It's true. And you know, I'm coming from a world where I had to draft a lot of like PowerPoints, like management slides to give my management back at the Otto Group like 3 options. Option number 1, you know, the cheap one, not so good. Option number 2, really balanced, not so expensive within the budget. Option 3, like risky one, like a bit over the edge, a bit more expensive. So please, dear board, choose one option. So what was the choice? Obviously, always option 2. And when we are living in a world where nobody knows what those options will be. Nobody, not even the best experts, can predict what's going to happen tomorrow. So the only ones, and that's the only strategy that is like still working in every industry, online and offline, is adapt faster than the competition. That's the only winning strategy, is the speed of adaptation. Because you have all seen it now. So nobody can tell you like, or you cannot tell like in 2 weeks that we haven't learned about AI because it was in every speech. So it's your job to adapt faster. It's your job to get rid of whatever ERP system is standing in your way. It's your job to find a way how to create product videos faster within your company. It's your job. There's nobody else. And the one excuse I've heard in many conferences the last 20 years, yeah, there's no personnel available. You know, in Switzerland it's so small, it's so expensive to get the personnel. Or like in northern Germany, we're living in a remote area. It's true for everybody. There's no personnel for this. It's you. You have to learn it. You have to adapt it. You have to learn how to create those videos. You have to learn how to make AI happen. There's not even agencies you can ask because the stuff is happening so fast. Agencies might help you to adapt it, but nobody can tell you what's going to happen in the future. That's why I believe we are still in the right room, also with our partners Syndigo, because that's how we differentiate between the two worlds. So this is like the old world, like of software companies, where everybody tried to sell you like in one big solution. That's the best of suite world. That's the SAP world. That's the Adobe world, whatever. And we are living, and that's like what Spryker is, I believe where Syndigo also is, it's the best of breed world, or Gartner is calling it now the composable world, where you say, okay, we give you components, we also tell you how to put those components together, but it's your job. It's your job to build this like stereo. And if you say for you another speaker is working better, it's your job to, we give you the freedom to change the speaker. You don't even need to buy our speaker. Do whatever you want. We help you adapting it faster, but you have to adapt it. That is changing, but it's the only strategy that resonates and that makes sense. So if there's just one thing you can get out of this, adapt faster. Please adapt faster, so I can see some of you in this room again next year. No, it's like I know. It sounds it's kind of cynical, but we have to be very fair. It's like, you know, like remember the first picture when I gave you like this kind of timeline, And when we all started in our industries, like I started 15, 20 years ago, we said like, you know, this old people, the board, they don't understand, it's like e-commerce, whatever. Now we are the old people. We are the old ones. We are the ones that need to adapt faster than the generation before us didn't do it. Took them too long. Many of them are out of the market already, but we still can do it. We understand it. Everybody has been telling you AI, 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 adapt. And see it also in my team, so I try to encourage my team to play around more with it, to do this kind of video stuff, to play around with ChatGPT, because ChatGPT is solving so much stuff for me already, but many do have an average age in our organization is like 35 or even lower. But many have a problem to adapt it. Many try to find an excuse to say, no, it's not really applicable in like marketing or tech or whatever. It's kind of risky data stuff. It's not true. It's kind of, otherwise we are going to destroy it by other companies doing it faster than we are doing it. And with this happy sentence, I will hand over to the moderator again.
Hello? 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 Perfect. Alexander, that was incredibly inspiring. Thank you for that. I hope people are inspired to change in this room. Speed.
Scared.
Who's scared? Who is scared? Raise their hand. Who's scared? You people are scared. Good. That's inspired. So thank you for that. So now we and I feel very old because I didn't even know what Shine and Timo was. So that tells you that I'm a little bit in the dark. But Nikhil will tell you that I just registered on Shine and I got a coupon. So I encourage the same.
Good. Congratulations.
Yeah, he gets a kickback for every registration. No, I'm joking. So we have lunchtime. So enjoy each other's company. We did eat into lunch, but I thought it was well worth it. So we break. For those that are, I think there are a couple of customers that are on 7.x and we have a migration session, so a special migration lunch, which I think we'll have, a special menu. Is that right, Sachin? But Sachin right here, Sachin, stand up. So please find Sachin, and he'll wait here, and you guys should grab lunch and have your focus session. So have a very good lunch, and we'll see you back in the room at 2 p.m. 1400. Thank you.